I have been thinking. Oh, I have been thinking indeed. It's mostly about effort, mostly about recognition, about many things really. How much effort do you have to put in to get reasonable recognition? How much effort do you need to put in to just get any at all? Like, I think myself, I've put in, I wouldn't say, I'd say a okay amount, not like decent or good, but I've put in an exact amount of effort for how much recognition I've been getting so far. It's not like it's a lot, but this, I can't be a beggar for recognition if I didn't really deserve it. Even though there are definitely some people online that probably like it's not like they didn't deserve it. It's just like they probably put in a little bit less effort to get it. But, you know, probably just luck, probably just a whole bunch of other things, really. As much as I would like to be on that list of people, it's not like it just happens to anyone. If it did, then you'd probably just have like the most random people. Uh, most random people just doing it. But it's okay how it is so far, in my opinion. But it's, I mean, it could be better, you know? But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm talking about, how in some projects people try to overachieve with them and then just get burnt out in the middle, you know? Sometimes people just has to appreciate what they have right now, what they've done, how much they've built up, what things that they have. The problem right now with a good chunk of people is they're all burnt out or they can't focus too much on one thing at a time unless they really enjoy it. you know People can talk hours and hours on things that they enjoy, but if they are to like put it into action, then it's a lot harder for them. But things that they don't fully enjoy and not spend the time necessary for it. Who knows the balance between the two? Only you, really. And you're the one that has to decide that yourself. Yes, there are some limitations to how much you can decide. We know. There's some restrictions that some people have. There's some mandatory things that are necessary to do, of course. Um, but what little things you can control, that's the important part. And don't try to sacrifice yourself over it. If it's if it's something that truly matters to you, and it's something that you can do without, you know, major sacrifices, that it'll I think it might turn out a lot better for you in the end. But it's not something that people would really think about. But yeah. Uh I don't really know like what everyone's doing at all times, but I do know that whatever you're doing, you must have a reason to, whether it's just you want to or whether someone else wanted you to. It's not really something that um, just happens out of nowhere, right? Like you push yourself um, to do things that you haven't done before. Experiment in some new ways, or maybe even just try something completely new. You know, a bit ago, I tried art. I enjoyed what I did. It wasn't good in many senses, but I enjoyed it, you know? And I don't think I sacrificed that much to obtain that enjoyment. But, life isn't fully about just your enjoyment. Well, I guess it is to some extent, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say there. Um, you are able to achieve the things that you want to in the end if you just do it at a reasonable pace. Though sometimes that reasonable is under a strict deadline. I understand. But if you are pressured in any way, do remember to take some breaks. Not long ones, because, well, then you might be too distracted to remember to do what you have to. It's all a balance. It's all a thing that, you know, you have to control. Maybe sometimes people prefer, productivity apps or something that, help them maintain the balance between breaks and work and productivity and all that type of stuff. We all want to achieve something at some point. Sometimes not, but I feel like a good chunk of people do. And I think that if you do it at a reasonable pace, then you should be able to. Mhm. Whether it is creative, whether it is functional, whether it is logical, you know, sometimes you have to just take it nice and slow and maybe break it up into little chunks. Little chunks it's the best way to manage things, but sometimes you can just jumble it up too much. That's why you have to have a goal with those reasonable chunks. Well, the small chunks, sorry. I'm mixing things up now. Things are just going through my brain. But I'm sure that in some way or some form, you're able to figure out what you want to do. And I wish you all the best for it. And I do wish you a very good luck. I do thank you for listening if you've gotten this far. You're great. You're fantastic. You're amazing. But most of all, you are only the best. If you think so. Now, I'm not trying to be motivational, but how can you possibly do good if you can't think that you do good yourself? You know? Anyways, thank you. And I'll see you next time.